Hello everyone. I welcome you in the virtual classroom of business environment. We are discussing our second unit, LPG policy. We have already completed liberalization and privatization, and now we are moving towards effects of globalization. I am repeating the meaning of globalization again. What is globalization? Globalization simply means free movement of goods and services, free movement of capital, free movement of labor, and free movement of technology. Means when all these four parameters are fulfilled, then we can say that a country has adopted globalization. What are these four parameters? Goods and services, capital, technology, and labor. When these four can move freely from one nation to another nation, then globalization takes place in a real sense. You know that we have adopted globalization since 1991 as a part of LPG policy because we need to take loan from IMF, and IMF has put conditions before our country, and to meet those conditions we have adopted LPG policy. Today we are discussing what are the effects of globalization. Means we need to know that what economy has faced due to globalization. In other words, you can say that evaluation of globalization in Indian economy means whether Indian economy has a favorable impact of globalization or we are having an unfavorable impact of globalization. The list of the effect of globalization are given over here. The first effect is on GDP and poverty ratio. Second is on impact on external sector. Third, impact on employment. Fourth, impact on agriculture sector. Fifth, impact on industrial sector. Sixth, disadvantage from various agreement. Seventh, impact on MNCs. Eighth, increase in economic inequalities. And ninth, neglect of informal sector. Now let us discuss one by one. GDP and poverty ratio. See, what is GDP? GDP simply means gross domestic product. If GDP increases, this is a sign of development, and if GDP reduces, then it shows a negative development of any country. Means a country moves from developing to underdeveloped phase. Now let us see what is the effect of globalization on Indian economy's GDP in 1992 to 2002. uh, this is the time period when we have adopted LPG policy. At that period of time, our GDP was 6%. Then it increased to 7.6%. It is a good impact, though it is a very nominal or marginal increase, that is of 1.6%. And that increase happened during the 10th 5-year plan. The duration of 10th 5-year plan is 2002 to 2007. Again, our GDP increased from 7.6% to 7.9%, means 0.3% is increase during the 11th 5-year plan. The duration of 11th 5-year plan is 2007 to 2012. If we talk about 12th 5-year plan, means from 2012 to 2017, our GDP has recorded an historical rate, that is a 8.2%, a very good GDP rate recorded in India, which was not experience past in India. So we can say that our GDP has shown increase after 1991. So we can say that it is due to the adoption of LPG policy. So from the viewpoint of GDP, we can say that globalization has proved advantageous for Indian economy. If we talk about poverty ratio, then poverty ratio during 1993-94 means when we have adopted globalization, this is the figure from 1950 to 1993-94. So poverty ratio was 36 percentage, which reduced to in 2004-5 it to 27 percentage. Though it is not too good, decrease in a poverty, but still at least we have experienced a decrease in our poverty ratio. So that is also a good sign that because of LPG policy, India's GDP increase and poverty ratio in India reduced. So this is a sign of developing nation, that we are still in a developing phase. At least no negative development is found in India due to LPG policy in context of GDP and poverty ratio. The second effect is on impact on external sector. See, what is external sector? External sector simply means international business. What is the contribution of India in the international business, that we will discuss under this point. Our export doesn't show any significant increase even after adoption of globalization. See, what do you mean by international business? When we are doing business or trading activity with other nation, and when we are doing trading activity in internationally, then simply means it is import and export. So due to globalization, when we have opened up our doors of economy for the foreign multinational companies, and we are also allowed to go in other country, but we are having only one sided impact, that our import increases but our export doesn't increase. But due to liberalization and openness of economy, our import increases. See, what happened in external sector, that our export doesn't increase and import increases. So all in all, we can say that it is a negative impact. Our export, a country will be benefited if export will increase, and if import will increase, then just only a loanable fund will increase, a loan of India will increase, we can say like this. But one positive side of liberalization and globalization is that our self reliance has increased, and now our export finance 60% of our import. See, no doubt our export doesn't show significant increase, though it is increased, but not to an enormous amount. It has shown a slight increase in our export ratio. But what happened due to this globalization, that now we are earning from the export, and whatever the bills we need to pay for import, it will be set off from the exports earning only. See, what was the scenario before 1991? All the time we were taking loan from the IMF and World Bank, just because we were not having any external transaction with other country. We were not earning foreign exchange, but from the viewpoint of India, it is compulsory for India to import petrol. So it is in petrol's import is compulsory, so we need to make payment in foreign exchange. So what was the scenario? No earning of foreign exchange, yet you need to pay foreign exchange, you need to spend in foreign exchange. But after globalization, what happened, that we can earn in foreign exchange and we are paying in foreign exchange. So at least the loanable amount reduces, because we are earning something bit from our export. See, what is written here, that now our export finance 60% of import, means now only 40% is deficit in the bill of import, and about 40% only we need to take loan from the financial institution internationally. So it is a good sign that now our self-reliance increase. Self-reliance simply means that whatever is needed by us, it is produced and contributed by us only. Now, if we talk about India's share in world trade, what is the contribution of India in international trade? Then during 1990, it was 0.54%. It is such a shameful figure for India, that our contribution is merely an half percent in a world trade. If we talk about USA, then it's that country's contribution is around 25%, one fourth of the total world trade, and our contribution is just a half percent. In 2004, though the figure doubled, but it is only 0.8%. Still, it is not an appreciable figure, but at least we can say that India's share in world trade got doubled after adoption of LPG policy. Earlier, it was 0.54%, and then increased to 0.8%. Not exactly double, but near to double. Then in 2008, our contribution in world trade again increased to 1.68%, which is exactly double than 2004's figure. So we can say that India's contribution in external sector is increasing gradually. We are also doing export and import, though we are not having any significant export, but at least now we are self-reliant. We are able to pay our bills on our own. We need not to take loan from the other institution. So it is a good sign that our self-reliance increased and our contribution in the international sector in international business also increases. Then impact on employment. See, due to LPG policy, what scenario we have found in India? In the first effect, we have seen that poverty reduces, and poverty and employment has a direct relation. If employment increases, then poverty reduces, and if employment reduces, then poverty increases. If we talk about the figures, then it is given over here. During 1983-84 to 1993-94, the period of 10 years, one decade, the unemployment growth rate, mind it well, this is not employment, this is unemployment growth rate. The unemployed people increased in India. See, we are not saying that the 100% employment is there in India, but instead of increasing employment, we are having increase in unemployment, and this is all, we can say, a negative sign for Indian economy. But what we need to check over here is what is the ratio of unemployment, at what rate unemployment is increasing in India. So during this 10 years, the unemployment increased at the rate of 2.62 percentage. Then in 1993-94 to 1999-2000, which we can consider a period of LPG, then it is a good sign that our unemployment reduces to 1.25 percentage. Earlier it was 2.62%, which reduced to 1.25 percentage, which we have already verified at the time of discussing poverty, that India's poverty reduces, then definitely unemployment had to be reduced. If we talk about the period from 1999 to 2000 to 2004-5, then again, whatever was the scenario was replaced. We were having happiness for a little bit time period, and again the same figure we found as a unemployment growth rate, that is 2.62 percentage. Earlier I told you that unemployment reduces because of LPG, and we can again say that unemployment increases because of LPG, but not only because of LPG, but in increase of unemployment, so many factors, so many reasons are working. Now let us discuss the reasons why we have increase in a growth rate of unemployment. Earlier it was reduced, then why it is increased in a second phase? That is a question to be concerned. Due to globalization, there is structural change in job market. Though GDP was more during globalization, that we have discussed in the first effect, that GDP increased in India due to globalization, the employment growth rate reduced. See, GDP increases means gross domestic product increases, means the total production in India is increasing, but then also employment is reducing. How it is possible? Just we have discussed the four parameters of globalization, and out of four parameter, one of the parameter is free movement of technology. And you know that earlier, if we talk about before 1991, the most of the production activity was labor intensive, but just because of this free movement of technology, India has started adopting capital intensive technology, which has reduced the employment opportunities in India. So no doubt GDP increased because machine can produce faster than the labor, so production has to increase. But because of this capital intensive technology, our employment reduces. So there is a structural changes in a job market. If we talk about before 1991, most of the laborers were getting job in the agriculture agrarian sector, and less percentage of people are getting job from IT sector, means service sector, and manufacturing sector. But you know that after globalization, even we have started using technology in our agriculture sector. So due to that reason, the jobs in the agriculture sector reduces, and on the other hand, we are facing the developing phase. So production increase in a manufacturing sector and a service sector, but there also we are using more capital intensive technology. So all in all, globalization has proved good for three of the sector, be it agriculture, be it manufacturing sector, or be it service sector. But it has a negative impact, totally negative impact on our employment. The another reason for declining growth rate is our population increase at a 2.84%. See, we can say that this is the biggest factor, biggest contributor in the unemployment increase, that our population increase at a 2.84 percentage. If we nullify the effect of population, then there will be zero unemployment here. See, definitely job opportunities has increased because population is increasing at 2.84%, but unemployment is just 2.62 percentage. Still there is a gap of 0.2 percentage. Yes or no? So we can say that employment is increasing, but just because unemployment is increasing because of population in India is increasing. Employment in organized sector was marginally increased from 26670 lakhs to 287 lakhs. See, there is a marginal increase of 20 lakhs only. So, in organized sector means the sector which are under the regulation of government. In that sector, there was no fine increase in employment. It is only in a marginal increase of 20 lakhs only. No doubt, in unorganized sector employment increases, but there is no figure for unorganized sector because they are not registered and they are not under the control of government. Then, globalization has increased jobs in the sector where special skills are required, but it reduced the job into consumer goods industries like detergent, soap, etc. due to entry of MNCs. Yes, see, job has increased due to globalization, but what kind of jobs are increased? We are required special skills. Just because after 1991 to so many skill based programs, educational programs are started in India because of the two good opportunities in India for having a skilled job. It from 1990s only onwards only, there was a huge demand of MBS were earning a very good annual packages because it is a skillful job. But it has reduced the job in a consumer industries, means a laborers kind of job has definitely reduced. Only a kind of job like a middle level management and a top level management, there is still a huge opportunity for having job, but the job where laborers activities are there, it is reduced only. Then, so globalization results into jobless growth in India. No doubt, globalization has resulted into growth for Indian economy, but what kind of growth? See, what prefix is used here, that it is a jobless growth. Whether we should term it as a positive or negative, I don't know. But growth, what kind of growth? Jobless growth. People are growing, but people are not earning, we can say like this. So this is a kind of happiness with the sadness together. Then next is impact on agriculture sector. Globalization has favorable impact on our agrarian economy because of removal of restriction on food import by developed countries. See what is written here, that our economy is agrarian economy. Agrarian economy simply means a economy which is based dependent on agriculture sector, not on a manufacturing sector and not on a service sector. Yes, since free independence, India has an image of agriculture oriented economy, not as an industrial economy. See, USA has an image of industrial economy, Japan has an impact image of technological economy, but what kind of image we are having in a global market? That is of agrarian economy which is based on agriculture sector. Means we are not good in industry, we are not good in technology, but we are good in agriculture. Why we are term it as agrarian economy? Because 70% of the Indian population are earning from the agriculture only, and in GDP also the contribution of agriculture is also good enough to justify that Indian economy is a agrarian economy. So as it is an agrarian economy, can we find any benefit due to globalization? Yes. Why? Because of removal of restriction on food import by developed countries. See, if we talk about India, then there was no need to import food after 1980s. See, I am not saying after independence. Though our economy is agrarian economy, we were importing food grains in India before 1980s. But after 1980s, you have heard about the green revolution, and due to that now we are fully self-reliant from the viewpoint of food grains. Now whatever the need of India is there, it is totally produced within India. There is no need to import of food grains, so it is a good sign. But simultaneously that we are producing to a enormous extent that we are having extra units of food grain that we can sell in other countries. But what happened with India, that before 1991, as we were not importing except petrol, all other things, government has a negative approach regarding import, and due to that reason other country also feel that why we should give chance India to export, because our export will be termed as import for their country, and if we will export we will earn, and if we don't import we are not letting other to earn. Yes or no? So in that situation, will they let you earn? If you are not giving chance to someone else to earn, why they will give you chance you to earn? Not at all. Yes or no? So after 1991, as we are giving the freedom to import, other country has also given freedom to their import as well, and their import means our export. And due to that reason, as we are producing in agriculture sector only, now we are exporting in other countries. But due care should be taken in patent right of our agrarian item like basmati, name, etc. See, when we are doing international business, when we are selling our agricultural item to other countries, what we need to take care is about taking patent right. Otherwise, what will happen? Once we will sell any product to other economy, they will definitely produce it in their economy. Say for example, if we are selling mango, then from the fruits of mango they can manage to produce mango within their country. It is a secondary matter whether the weather condition will be like favorable to it or not. That is a secondary condition, but sometimes it happens that the our product can start be producing in other country as well. And if mango started cropping in other countries, then second time they will not do import from our country, they will produce within a country. Yes or no? So in agriculture item, due care should be taken that we take a patent right, so that other country cannot produce it, and we can manage to export our agrarian item for a longer period of time. Then next is impact on industrial sector. It was assumed that competition with MNCs will make Indian economy more cost conscious and quality conscious. See, as a part of globalization, definitely we have opened the doors for the foreign multinational companies, and Indian companies are also allowed to go in other countries. And at the time of globalization, it was assumed that when we will have a competition with the foreign multinational companies, it will make Indian company cost conscious and quality conscious. What is cost conscious? You know that before 1991, I have discussed the case study of Bajaj with you, that Bajaj was producing automobile and that too at a higher price. Why? Because they were not worrying about the cost. If wastage is happening, let it happen. In whatever price they were able to sell in Indian market, so they were not conscious about cost. They were producing items at a higher cost and selling in a higher price. And what MNCs are doing, they are producing in a least cost and they are selling in a least price. So if there is a competition between high price goods and a low price good, who will win? A low price good which is produced by MNCs. And their product is also quality conscious. You know that our product is not that much qualitative product, and due to that reason only India's export is not up to the mark, because other countries product are very good. So just because of competition with the MNCs, as they are selling in less price, Indian company has to sell in less price to survive in a market, which make them cost conscious. And as we want to export, our product has to be accepted by the foreign population, foreign market, and for that reason we need to produce qualitative product which make Indian company quality conscious. So what is, all in all, we can say that globalization has make Indian company cost conscious and quality conscious. Now we are producing in a least cost and selling in a least price, and we are also producing, trying to produce superior quality product. But before globalization, Indian economies were operating in quite closed and completely sheltered market, and that had not made them capable to face the competition. Yes, we say that we have assumed that Indian companies will become cost conscious, but they are not becoming cost conscious. Why? Because earlier we were living in a quite comfort zone. Government was feeding the Indian industrialists, and they were like eating without doing hard work, without doing effort. But after globalization, we are competing with the foreign multinationals. See what happened. Before 1991, Indian industries were taken care as a child. Indian industries were taken care as a child. You know how a child is taken care? Parents are giving everything to them, they are nourishing them. But after 1991, Indian industries are considered as an adult. You know how adult are treated? Parents leave them free to do whatever they want to do and to decide their future on their own. Means no one is interfering in their matter. At least now parents are not protecting the adult. All the time parents will protect only child. So before 1991, government was protecting Indian industries, but after 1991 there is no protection to Indian industries. But what happened? You know, it is a human nature. Once we are in a comfort zone, once we are with, very good, you know, we are very happy with a situation, we don't grow. Just because Indian industries were protected by government, it is said that we were operating in a quite closed and completely sheltered market. We did not grow, and we remain as it is. So when government has removed the protection, we were not able to survive, not only face the competition, that is a secondary matter, but we were not able to survive because earlier we were protected a lot, and in the time of protection we did not grow. The positive side is that import gave wide range of choice to consumer. Yes, definitely, when due to globalization now import are allowed in Indian economy. So just because of import, now Indian consumers are getting choice, and due to that reason now Indian consumer are getting consuming the product at a less price. That you can correlate with the Bajaj Auto only, that Bajaj Auto is just giving scooter in 1990s, and then also they were having monopoly of 10 year. And after globalization, we are getting a very good modern technology bikes, not scooter but bikes, and that too at a cheap rate. So consumers are benefited, not industries are definitely not benefited, but who are benefited, that is a consumer. So if we evaluate the impact on industrial sector, then we can say that negative for industries but positive for customers. Then the sixth effect is disadvantage from various agreement. The title itself says that a pure negative impact India has on various agreement. Which kind of agreement? Let us see. India has entered into agreement with WTO like TRIPS and TRIMS. WTO means World Trade Organization and TRIPS simply means trade related intellectual property right. Simply means patent right we are taking. That kind of law is known as a trade related intellectual property rights. Copyrights, patents are there. They are considered, they are got under the TRIPS. And TRIMS simply means trade related investment measures. When the citizen of one country wants to invest in other country, then they can do investment under TRIMS agreement, that is trade related investment measures. TRIPS result into legalization of monopoly, whereas TRIMS protects the rights of foreign investors in developing country. See, each of the agreement means TRIPS has a negative impact and TRIMS has also a negative impact. Now let us discuss the impact of both of the agreement. First of all, TRIPS means trade related intellectual property right. I told you earlier also that under TRIPS, patent rights and copyrights are given. See, if anyone will take patent, what does it mean? Means a same kind of product having same features, same shape and test and all the like, the similar kind of product, identical product cannot be produced by him. What does it mean? It implies that a person who got patent, now only he can produce. If only he can produce means he is having monopoly. You are not giving chance other to produce like that, means there will be no competition. No competition means monopoly. So why monopoly rise in the market? Because of the patent right. And who has given patent right? That is TRIPS only. So we can say that trip is a one kind of act only, one kind of agreement only. So monopoly comes into existence in a market because of act, and act is a legal aspect, so law is giving rise to monopoly. Monopoly is definitely illegal, but when law is creating monopoly, the same illegal monopoly will be considered as a legal monopoly. So what is written here? Legalization of monopoly. A bad aspect from other point of view, you term it as a good. That is totally, and like you are treating a child, it is like that. Then, whereas TRIMS protects right of foreign investor in developing country. What is TRIMS? Means trade related investment measures. Means TRIMS in India, how works that they are always protecting the right of foreign investors. See, in investment procedure, there are always two parties. One is investor and one is capital, one who gets the capital. So trims are designed in such a way that they always protect the right of foreign investors, not the industries. So in that also we are targeting, means Indian industries are targeted and they are giving benefit to the foreign investors only. So all in all, we can say that both of the agreement that we have done with the WTO, it is not beneficial or not useful for the Indian economy. Then impact on MNCs. I can say impact of MNCs. Entry of MNC has resulted into unequal competition. Yes, definitely unequal competition between giant and weak. See, who are giant? These MNCs are giant, and who are weak? Indian industries are weak. Why? Because we were operating in a protected market, protected environment. We didn't grow. We were born as a weak and we remain weak only because of government's protection. So due to globalization, as all of a sudden globalization has adopted, foreign multinational companies entered in a market. So before Indian economies get stronger, they face competition with the MNCs. So what kind of competition is there? Unequal competition. MNCs are giant. They were already doing business in so many countries, so they are strong and the stronger one. And the Indian industries are first time facing competition, so they are weak. So definitely, when giant and weak competes with each other, the result is pre-decided. Only giant wins and weak loses. Means MNCs wins and Indian industries are at a losing situation. Then domestic companies feel like target and victim and expect level playing field. Yes, definitely. When MNCs are all the time facing competition with the Indian industries feel that they are targeted. They are not given opportunity to operate in a market. All the customers are went to the MNCs and they are in a position to get shut down. So what they expect? They expect level playing field. What is level playing field? Simply means that there should be a competition with the equal one. And what are the equal? Who are having a same, who are same in strength. If strong is in a competition, then on the counterpart is strong competitor should be there, not a weak competitor. So Indian industries are expecting level playing field. Either you give us chance to get strong or you give us reservation, so that unequal can be treated as equal. So this is all about impact on MNCs. We can say that due to globalization, Indian industries are at a totally losing situation. The negative impact we are having in Indian economy because of globalization. Then increase in economic inequalities. See, what is economic inequality? When classes are surviving in a economy, then it is known as a economic inequalities. What kind of classes? Rich classes there, poor classes there, middle classes there. This classism means inequalities. If there is no class, if everyone owns all about same on an average, if they are having a same income, then there will be a classless economy, which is known as economic equalities. But in India, you know that rich are so much rich. The richest person of India is the richest, is having a position in the richest person of the world. And the poor people in India are also there. You just take the example of Mumbai only, that it is a city where the richest person of India is living and where the poorest person of India is also living. You know about Dharavi, the biggest slum area of Asia, not only India, but Asia continent's biggest slum area is there in Mumbai only. So within a city, we are having a richest and a poorest. So definitely we can say that in India, we are having a rich class and we are having a poor class. The criteria is also given to you that the population of rich class is 20% and their contribution to the India's national income is 37.5%. If we talk about middle class, the population of middle class is 60% and their contribution to India's income is 54.8%. Not per head same. Per head one is per head we are not having 1 rupee as well. That is the contribution of middle class. If we talk about the poor class, then the population of poor class is 20% and their income is just 7.7 percentage. You just imagine the population of rich and the population of poor are same, but the contribution of the rich and the contribution of poor are having a huge gap. One is contributing 37% and another is contributing only 7.7%. There is not only inequalities, but there is a wide gap between the rich and poor. We cannot assume in any country classless society, but at least there is a less gap between the rich and the poor. In that case, we still term it as a economic equalities. If this would be around 15 to 20%, this poor class will be around 15 to 20%, then also there will be a less gap between the rich and poor. But we are having a huge gap of 30%, flat 30%, we can say like this, because here 37.5% in rich and in poor we are having only 7.7. So huge gap is there between rich and poor, which results into economic inequalities. Fact is, out of 185 countries, 80 countries per capita, it is not per capita but per capita income has declined as compared to their per capita income decade back. See, out of 185 countries, the survey is there that 80 countries per capita income has reduced as compared to their own per capita before 10 years. So, after globalization, the per capita income is not increasing, rather, it is reducing. Instead of being constant, if you assume that it cannot increase, it should be stable. But instead of being stable, it is reducing. Only few sectors are linked to the globalization. Yes, that we have seen earlier in the MNCs also, that globalization has given benefit to the areas where skillful jobs are there. The other areas, we term it as an unorganized area, they are not linked with the globalization. See, we are having a updated and modernized technique in the IT sector, but still unorganized area like this lari wala and artisans are still working in a position, in a situation in which they used to work before 50 years as well. You just imagine the economic status of the artisans, means artists who are doing the handloom creativity. Before 50 years they were like this, and after 50 years also they are like this. So there is no improvement in their lifestyle, there is no improvement in their economic status. So we can say that globalization has not linked with that handicraft area. Artisans are still considered as a neglected sector because they are in a unorganized sector. Then the last impact of globalization, that is neglect of informal sector, that I have just discussed in the eighth effect, that is increase in economic inequalities. Informal sector provides GDP 60%. See, what is the contribution of this informal sector? Lariwala, artisans, and the street sellers are contributing to the GDP, that is 60%, and it is the biggest sector which provides employment to 93% of the population. You know, that's if we remove the metro cities like Mumbai, Delhi, Kolkata, and Chennai, then in most of the cities of India, most of the business is done by these street sellers only. So they are the biggest employment contributors, and they are contributing 60% to the GDP of India. But globalization has focused mainly on the organized sector. As I have told you earlier, that globalization's benefit is given only to the organized sector because they are registered with the government, they are under control of government. So it is easier for government to um, reach benefit to the this registered area, and informal sectors are just not registered with the government, they are scattered in a manner. So it is difficult on the part of government to make the benefit of globalization reach to the informal sector. So informal sector is totally neglected, there is no benefit, and there is also not negative effect of globalization on informal sector. But globalization has to give benefit to the informal sector, which didn't happen in India. So this is all about the effect of globalization in Indian economy. If we overall evaluate the effect of globalization, then in GDP and poverty ratio we has a favorable impact, and impact on external sector we are having a nullify effect because import increase and export doesn't increase. So no negative and no positive, nullify effect is there. Impact on employment, earlier employment increase, then later on employment reduce. So again we can say that nullify effect on employment sector. impact on agriculture sector. Yes, we have a positive impact on agriculture sector because now we got a freedom to export our agrarian item. Impact on industrial sector, totally negative impact on industrial sector because industries are not able to face competition with MNCs. Disadvantage from various agreement, the title itself suggests that it has a negative impact on Indian economy. Impact on MNCs, yes, this too has a negative impact on Indian economy. Then increase in economic inequalities, that is too negative impact. And neglect of informal sector, that is also negative impact. So out of 9, 2 areas are having positive impact and 5 areas are having negative impact, and this two, second and third, has a nil impact, means no positive and no negative. So this is the overall evaluation of globalization for Indian economy. That is all about the effect of globalization. By this way, our effect of globalization got over, and simultaneously our unit also got over. I would remind you that the effect of globalization is not there in your textbook, and that is why I have given you in detail in this PPT. I have shared the PPT with you in our group only. Thank you so much. Our unit is completing here. From next lecture, we will start unit number 3. I will share the material with you.